Are we live? Is this thing working? I think it's working. What's happening, everybody? Everybody's having a fantastic, whatever day you're watching this. Running a little bit late this evening because I kind of blew out the back part of my my left ring finger tonight at the gym. It's kind of funny. I'm pretty prone to injuring myself in some way, shape, or form on a somewhat regular basis, and it's only been a hot minute since I've bled all over anything. So I guess now was about the time. But yeah, that's what it looks like when you slam your finger and you're holding a 90-pound dumbbell after doing usually to failure. So right around 10 or 11 reps, and I dropped it. Well, the problem is I warm up with 35s and I do flies in between sets. So anyway, I don't know if you can see, but when this thing slammed into that 30, stripped the skin off the bottom of the finger, and I thought I broke my finger because I've broken stuff before. Anyway, I couldn't feel the end of my finger. It's why I figured, oh, great, I broke it. But it turns out it's not broken, or at least it's barely chipped. If anything, it's just a compression fracture, so it's not that big of a deal. I've gotten so many of these things that I'm so used to them. It's just I know about when it's going to start bleeding. And so that's where we're at with that. So anyway, playing around with that right now, that's a real hoot. But aside from that, I wanted to get y'all's take on something. Y'all been doing these what's he up to type videos. It's one of those weird things where a lot of times there's just not a lot going on, in the whole grand world of Mopar racing. I think a lot of what is going to happen has happened with Mopar stuff. And so anyway, it's, it's showing you different stuff that I'm up to. It's not always race car. It's just the kind of the fun stuff that is part of the automotive lifestyle, if you will. So, by the way, if you guys, I was always giving my critique of, the different post-workout drinks. So you got Gatorade, Powerade, stuff like that, and always rock purple. But electrolyte is what's kicking tonight. This stuff, you got to work up to this. This is no joke. It's it's one of these, it's made in Mexico. So it's going to be good already. It's basically flavored salt water and it hits hard. So, but yeah, I love that stuff. But anyway, when in Rome, right? So anyway, straight from Velocito to you. But that's what's up. So yeah, kind of nursing this blast, my blown out finger. Here's the funny thing. I can tell you this. Had I not dropped the weight, had I not rolled forward, if I'd have just dropped the weight, it would have snapped this thing in half. And had it happened literally like maybe a full centimeter further back, it would have broken that finger. So hey, at least that's good. But it's bad when it turns purple, but then it drains out. And well, it's good, I should say, when it turns purple, because this thing turned purple pretty quickly, and then it bleeds out. So anyway, that's my night so far. But yeah, nothing really crazy going on. Wanted to see what y'all's thoughts were with what's he up to type videos. It's just the funny, goofy stuff that goes on behind the scenes or other stuff that I'm working on that's not necessarily Revlon. Trying to bring you guys some more truck content, a little bit more of maybe on the tuning side, why certain parameters are messed with, why others aren't, which ones make a difference, which ones don't. Some of the Foxy stuff is always fun because Foxy's always costing me money, even when I don't want to spend money on it. And that's really it. I did find an exhaust that I want to try on my car. What it is, it's from Pipes, and it's the which one is this one? This one is the Pipes Race Pro Catback exhaust with H-pipe. So this is the one that's kind of muffled a little bit, no resonators, and it uses your factory tips. Pipes is a muffler actually in the 2.5-inch size that's used quite a bit in FAST racing. And it's just it's a flow through muffler that has a just like a fiberglass insulation. So Anyway, that's the exhaust I may throw on Revlon, mainly just to shut it up a little bit. The Challengers come with what is in essence a glass pack back there, and that exhaust, I've never been a huge fan of it. So looking to change up the exhaust note a little bit on that car, so I may be going that route. I wonder if I can get a sponsorship from those guys. That'd be kind of neat. But let me check in with you guys. Speed Freak is in saying late night chat, right on. Yeah, coming in a little bit late. Like I say, I had to, stuff kind of just ran late today in general, and then had a little bit of a slowdown at the gym tonight with this finger getting kind of exploded. So, but made it through all my sets. I mean, it didn't keep me from, it didn't stop me. I've hurt myself worse. Speed Freak saying, hey, D, what is super stock in simple terms better than a red? Oh, what is better than it? Okay. So a super stock is basically it's basically a 2018 Demon with a different hood without the high octane mode. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Lighter weight brakes is the main takeaway though. So if I were to say, this is the difference one to the next, super stock's going to have a couple of other little things here or there, but the main thing is the lighter weight front brakes. Base is in. What's up, my man? Good evening. Ardell is in. What's up, man? Daniel's in saying, what's up, Professor B? Sorry to hear about the finger. Glad you're still good, though. Sounds like it could have been way worse. Yeah, it could have been a whole lot worse. And I knew it right when I dropped it. I thought, crap, I broke it. And again, it would not be the first time I've snapped something, or at least a compression fracture out of it. And, but luck, I mean, it hit right on the knuckle. Right on the knuckle. So there's a little bit of give there. But yeah, if it would have been half a centimeter back, instead of being here, if I'd have dropped it there, it would have popped it clean in half. And then it's just, you put it in the thing and you wrap it and you set it, and you got to do that. I've done that before. That's like, actually it was on this finger when I was a kid. Tad's in saying, you started to rant on the hideous Hornet a couple of videos back and abruptly stopped yourself. I'd like to hear the rest of that rant. Man, look, so my problem with the Hornet, let me just tell you guys this. My issue with the Hornet isn't the car itself. It's the fact that it was sold to us in a way that we all saw and could smell the bullshit coming from a mile away with that car. All it is a skate. It's not exciting. It's not cool. And the marketing of it alone is terrible. I mean, it's a terrible car for the brand of Dodge, although Dodge needs a small car. So it's like a catch-22 for me. I don't want it to be marketed as, oh, it's the Hornet. It's going to get you. No, man, don't do that. I want it to be marketed as something that's fun, that's cool, that's kind of hip, that's cool for the city crowd, gets you from point A to point B, can take a licking, keeps on ticking, durable, economical, good ass value for money. That's how I want it to be marketed. I don't need the same rock and roll and tire smoke coming at me for my city car, for my daily. That's not going to get it sold for me. I want to know that this thing is going to be there when I need it to be there, regardless of the weather conditions, regardless of whatever kind of gas I put in the thing. That's what I want out of that car. And I guess, for me, we're expecting something else to come from Dodge along with it. And then you couple this Hornet with how it was, I guess, released to us, for lack of another better way of putting it. But it's the Hornet without a Starion, for example, or the Hornet without a Stealth, the Hornet without a Conquest. You have to remember that the Hornet by itself cannot stand. You have to have the Hornet and then the car that is the soul, the driver for the brand. And the soul and the driver for the brand ain't the Banshee. There ain't nobody getting worked up right now about the Banshee because the Banshee hasn't done anything. You want the Demon 170? You mean the car that is starting to become less and less of a recent memory for folks? Let me explain something to you also about the Hornet and where it falls in line with the cars that we don't have. So let's break that down. You have the cars that we don't have, but that we should, with the Hurricane inline six engines. I am a huge proponent of putting that engine in a 35 or a 3,700 pound car. Do it, get it done, and give us that awesome hot rod inline six to go up against the 400Z, the Supra, and the like, right? You've got the Mustang that's going to be out there at 500 horsepower. 400 horsepower with turbos is very analogous to 450 or 470 horsepower naturally aspirated because the torque is normally significantly higher with those turbo sixes. It would make for a fun ass race is what I'm talking about. You would have a four-way contendership, and no, you wouldn't have the GT500 presumably, or you wouldn't have the Hellcat variants. Who cares? Okay, because in the grand scheme of things, those cars suck on the street anyway for the lack of a traction or tire technology or whatever. So you can see where I'm going with this. But without that car, the Hornet means nothing. The Hornet, there's no context to it. There's no way to balance the scales, if you will. And when I see Dodge not doing something with the car for the masses, the flag bearers for the brand, only to release the Demon 170 with an add tag that is making people nauseous just from the freaking stratospheric heights of the thing. So you've got that coming into play. And then you have basically influencers that are coming in saying, I got mine at sticker. Well, bravo, homie. That's great. Where do you stand in like the record holder point of view? Like, do you hold a record? Do you race your car? Have you been out there actually doing something with the Dodge brand? Or are you just showing up to the party and you're able to get one of these things because you got the extra scratch? There's nothing wrong with that. But you've got real racers that want to keep flying the brand that are getting shunned and scrapped. And these are not only guys like myself or like Jim Mopar or Speedy or other guys that presumably don't have their hands on one of these and won't be able to get one. But you've got existing Demon owners that are getting, well, for lack of a better way of putting it, shoved to the side so that whoever's got the deepest pockets can get one of these cars. Well, that's fantastic. Where does that leave the rest of us, right? I mean, the rest of us are all looking at Ford just salivating at this point. And let me take that a step further. You want to know what car has really caught my eye? You want to know what car has really, and I mean seriously, got me to thinking? 2019 Bullitt Mustang. There's one of those cars that runs around down here, and I swear to God, it is the best looking Mustang I've ever seen. Just a slight drop, stock wheels, good looking tire setup on this thing. Sounds freaking awesome. Not sure what exhaust is on it, but I can tell you it's music to my ears. And that is the driving experience that I'm hoping that we have if they come out with a Conquest or a Starion or something cool with that Hurricane inline six. So why is there like the beef seemingly between me and the Hornet? It's not the Hornet that I have the problem with. It's the fact that it's not going to have anything to bring up a soul. And a economy car, you can't tart up an economy car. I don't care how much turbo or hybrid or whatever you want to put into this thing. Ooh, it scoots. It's zippy. No, man. Hell no. I don't even care if it's faster than a Scat Pack. That's not the point. That's not the idea behind all of this. You know, we're shown and we're given this bill of sale like, I'm Mopar, I'm, big swinging appendage. Well, the problem is the little teeny stinger ain't big swinging appendage, okay? You see what I'm getting at? So that's the reason why I get so frustrated when I get a, when I get like just the whole Hornet thing comes up, but we have no Starion or no other thing to talk about with that inline six. Anyway, that's where that was coming from. So we're saying mod on the job. Ardell's hanging out with Gary. Sovereign saying, watch out for that bird. Yeah, so if y'all haven't seen my What's He Up To Today video, that one's actually, it's all real. That's the funny thing, is that I didn't even get to finish that one because I didn't really get into the whole why I had to tear down the lawnmower carburetor thing. Anyway, so yeah, it's just, yeah, but you saw me working on the carburetor, and I'm going to have to probably do it again. I'm going to have to splice in a filter. There's all kinds of dumb little things I got to do. So it's all good. Albert saying, hey, B just moved to Houston and it's humid out here. Yeah, damn right it is. How do I keep my garage queen safe from the humidity? The air is more humid inside the garage than outside. A lot of guys will run fans, just a regular box fan out there to keep the air moving around. I've had, up until like this, I've had a couple of box fans, and there was at one point where I had one that was running for probably 10 years. That's no joke. It's like an old, like a Sears box fan. In fact, I've got an old Kmart box fan at the house. So that tells you anything. Let's see. Jeremy is in. Message retracted. Base saying, ouch. Yeah, it got me pretty good. Gary's saying, hey, need some help. Anyone with a Hellcat style steering wheel in here? Only all of us with Hellcats, I think. I don't know of anybody that's got any for sale. In fact, I don't even know of anybody that's modded theirs. Sovereign saying, welcome all. John's asking, what was my first job involving cars? That depends on what you call a job. So at the age of about 12 or 13, my first job involving cars was to entertain my grandfather, who used to race what would become NASCAR later. It was just stock cars back then, in his El Camino and in his old pickup truck, when we would go hit oil field roads, and it was controlled to skid. And so he'd bring a 6-pack of Miller Lite or Pabst Blue Ribbon, and he would teach me how to drive and to hang cars sideways on dirt roads and gravel and shale roads. And so I was just there for his entertainment. So I guess you could call that a job. But moving forward from that, I worked as a basically like just a tech, but primarily a dyno operator for a shop in my early 20s. And that was my first actual gig, moonlighting as a dyno operator, and learning how to tuning lots of Fox body stuff, whole bunch of Fox body. I put in a lot of headers, a lot of lower control arms, lots of intake manifolds, you name it. That was part of my job too. So that's it. Basically saying, looking at a Mopar magazine from last year, there's a stock Duster 340 that this guy is running in the high 12s. There's a lot of Duster 340s that are running in the 12s. Matter of fact, fun fact for you guys, on the street, the 340 was hell to deal with because it's a smaller engine, kind of a higher winding engine, didn't have the traction issues, and would absolutely give pretty much any big block it would run up against all that it could handle, which is to say it broke some hearts, quite a few. Dan was saying they should have given the Dodge Neon another chance. Personally, I believe the SRT version was such a good car, yet so slept on. Still, SRT4 is still one of my all-time favorite cars. I got some very fond memories in that car. Donnie's saying Hornet's not even affordable. They went damn near 40 large for certain configs. That blows my mind. Gears and Guns, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing good. We got to get together soon on Sierra, dude. We keep not getting that done, and I've got to get that truck re-geared. Sovereign is hanging out with Ardell and Gears. Ken saying after the failure of the 200, you'd think they would have learned. No kidding. He's saying, salute. Sorry, driving. Be careful out there is what Sovereign's saying. Sovereign's loving. Oh, yeah, your shirt is killing me. Doing donuts. My mom got me that shirt. Oh, I keep forgetting that this thing's jacked up. Yeah, for y'all that don't know, I pretty much blew out my finger tonight. So if y'all are late and you see me like waving around, that is my finger that got kind of exploded at the gym tonight. You're saying, I'm good on my way home. Finally stayed late to see how that C8 Z06 worked. Doing an engine job on one currently. Yes, I'm stopped. Finally getting out of here. Bad weather, so just stayed. Gotcha. Yeah, so that's engine number 4 for the Z06 is failing. And it's what we were talking about before, Gears. I mean, I was spooked about a 5.5 liter flat plane early on, man. That displacement really does scare me. Matter of fact, anything above 5 liters in a flat plane, I don't like. In fact, I would prefer to see, 4 liter and smaller for a flat plane. So now we're talking about a 5.5. I don't know, man. Secondary harmonics have a really nasty habit of biting you. But I don't know. Hopefully they get it figured out. Some are saying, where the hell is the Hurricane Inline 6? No kidding. Max saying, awesome rant. I feel you completely. Yeah, you can't have, look, if you're going to be, I'll put it to you like this, Dodge, if you're going to be an economy car maker, be an economy car maker and be a damn good economy car maker. Like, make the best economy car you can get, but don't try to hot rod it in a way and sell it like it's fire. Okay. It doesn't, like, you can have a GLH and have it be cool, but you ain't got a GLH yet. You don't have anything even we're talking about right now. And so you can't have these, bury your stinger inside me or whatever that stupid line is from the commercial. You can't have that when you just have the little things that sound like the Jetsons car going around. You can't do that. Here's the problem. It's the boy that cried wolf coming into play a little bit here. You can't say, oh, this is badass. And then somebody shows up at a Dodge dealership and I mean, it's all pants, but nothing in the trousers for these folks. That's the problem that they're seeing with these Hornets. And I'm telling you, at $40-something thousand, that's not an economy car. See, that's the other thing. You can't break me off a 40 large investment on a vehicle and then call it an economy car. Is that some kind of, on a car, by the way, which is going to hold its value about as well as a strainer holds a bucket of water? It's not going to be there. So to call it an economy car and chip off 40 large from your customer only to have the thing worth 20 in 3 years. I mean, damn, it's not only is it not an economy car, it's like the opposite of economy. So that's my whole point with this. I mean, there's a reason why Challengers and Chargers hold their value so well enough to where any price, I keep hitting this thing. Y'all are about to hear me freaking scream. Any economy car that, or anything that is considered to be an economy car it's going to lose value, but you typically have a lower initial, investment. $40,000 for one of those things. It's embarrassing. And look, and if it's trimmed out, like, oh, you can option one to this level. No, that's not the point of an economy car. The point of an economy car is to help to keep everybody working at the plant and to offer up a durable, fuel efficient 10 to 12 year ownership type of a vehicle. It's not to have it's not to try to, kill somebody on, like on the resale proposition of it. That's the reason why it pisses me so much. T4, by the way, holds the hell out of its value because it's a badass car. I just don't feel that from, I'm sorry, rub this calls like over here getting baked. I just don't feel that coming from this particular vehicle. Not yet, anyway. And listen, as y'all know, I am always extremely extremely happy to be proven wrong. Michael saying, Miles already did zoom. Sovereign's got my bird poop situation rocking. Yep, that was today's What Is He Up To video. Marvelous Marvin, what's up, man? Thank you, sir. Appreciate the kind words. Jerry saying Dodge was busy dissing the Hornet. Man, I'll tell you what, that thing just showed up. It was bad. Him dad saying your granddad sounds awesome. Dude was awesome. Dude was a trip too, man. Miss that guy. Every day I miss my granddad. My grandfather. So really cool, dude. Oh my God. Just my granddad was a really guy, and him. So I can't really mention too much about this, but yeah, let me stop there. Real interesting guy, and I'll leave it at that. Dude had some very interesting connections in his life, for sure. Hemi dad saying 340 was like a small block Hemi, from what I hear. The thing is, with the 340, it was in a lightweight car. The LA engine platform is a bit of a lighter weight engine anyway. And it was just a lot of power. So for those of you that don't know, we are located in Velocito, and here in Velocito, folks are making hits, and apparently it's time for everybody to start going out and making hits. So you will hear that regularly. Anyway, the 340 cars were really good, way better. 6,000 RPM engine, legit 6,000 RPM engine. And would hang with any of the hot rod small blocks from any of the other manufacturers, whether it was a 351 Cleveland, 302 Boss, if you will, engines, which are just another name for Cleveland, 4-barrel with the closed chamber heads from Ford, those engines were legitimately, like, those were big block horsepower, small blocks. 340 would run with those without too much of an issue, and then any of the L series small blocks from GM. John's asking, is the Trackhawk faster than the Lamborghini Urus in the quarter mile? If it is, it's a shame for Lamborghini Urus being more expensive. There's a lot of cars that are really fast. What you get with the Lamborghini is you get the panache of having a Lamborghini. But the Trackhawk and the Urus and all of those are, I don't know which ones has the behind it, but they're all extremely fast. Basically saying, watch a review of the new Dark Horse, man. That thing looks sick. Yeah, it does. The dash looks like an EV, but the control features are amazing. Yeah, it's got that whole like digital, like complete blackout dash. So we're saying, ouch. Yeah, I got it pretty good. Oh, Gears is saying, whenever you're ready, just let me know. Need the gears. What I'm thinking about doing is doing gears and just a cheap Positrack for that thing back there. So I'll let you know. I'll give you a shout sometime here in the next week or so. Oh, Gary's saying, I'm doing the Alcantara steering wheel from a Hellcat on my Scat Pack. I bought the steering wheel and the steering bezel kit. Very cool. Just need the screw type fastener for the kit. Factory for you guys. Gotcha. Might be able to get that from the dealership. You will need the VIN for the Hellcat though. So we're saying that's right. Where is the GLH? I hear you. Monterey saying, came in late. What up, Professor? Oh, just hanging out. Got the flex. Donnie saying, took my stock boost Hellcat to the 8th first time last week, ran 6.7s. 6.7s is getting after it full weight, pissed off some super stock owners. Let's see. What was mine running? I got to go back and take a look. You know what's funny is I had a whole grip. Let me see something. What did I run? Let me give you an idea for what I ran. When I ran the 1005, mine went, hold on, let me get my, oh, no. Screenshots. There we go. That ain't it. Let's see. This is in crazy good air. This is actually a really good race. Car 1462 is me. This is a 1011. Went a 648 at 107.67. And listen, I'll be the first to admit, Hellcats, if you're talking about Hellcat versus Red Eye or Hellcat versus really any other car for that matter, Hellcats in the 8th mile are really hard. In fact, Hellcats in general are tough to deal with on a prepared surface. No question about that. And y'all always hear me talk about the Conquest. Here's a screenshot, if it'll focus, of an old advertisement for those cars. So anyway, that's why I'm just such a nerd when it comes to those things. I'll have to go back and see if I can find some more. Let me see if I can find a couple of more screenshots for you for my car. So just so you have a benchmark for like much better weather. Because right now the weather's not that great. And a density altitude of about 746 feet. I was running 660s at 106.5. So, yeah, if you're running 670s, that's some good air that you're running in, no doubt about it. Where else is some more in here? Yeah, 665 at 106. That's in 917 feet, but lower humidity. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun with mine. I love stock boost Hellcats. And that's really, like, we talk about balance a lot. And where the Red Eyes have an advantage is that they just have a bigger supercharger and they hit quite a bit harder off the line. The way that I've tried to explain a Demon, a Red Eye, a super stock versus a Hellcat, the Red Eye variant, but a Red Eye variant better because it's got a better initial hit. It's kind of like a big block out of the hole, but the Hellcat, with the way that the stock 2 is worked out, will almost always run down. Well, not almost always. It will collect speed and it will be in parity with the Red Eye at the end of the track. And then tuned, we just, leave them. But that's tuned versus stock. Saying liking all pants and no trousers. Gary's like, hey, Mono Red, thanks again for the lift at the Rock. Oh, cool. And he's saying Hornets are a great $19,000 car for 36 grand. Dude, that is so right. Mono Red saying, no problem. Cool, man. Glad y'all hooked up. John's asking, does my finger hurt? No, there's absolutely no pain. It feels like pressure, but man, I've broken so many bones or fractured. I haven't really snapped anything really good, but I'm not going to say you ever get used to it, but you kind of know like the extent of it right when it happens. So finger, nose, a couple of fractures in the head, arm, arm, wrist, femur, this middle finger twice, this middle finger once. And that's it, really. Now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, got all kinds of stuff broken. But no, it doesn't hurt. In fact, I mean, I was pouring alcohol on it. I've cut myself so many times I'm immune to rubbing alcohol too, which is kind of funny. People go, oh my God, that has to hurt. I literally don't even feel it anymore. Like it's, I mean, I joke about it, but I mean, I can saturate any cut that I've got with this stuff. And I know it because I can feel it going on there, but I've literally developed a numbness for that. Base is saying, funny, my Scat has more torque than my Super Duty. Yep. The old Super Duty V10s were legit engines too. Oh, Sovereign's saying, yes, like, subscribe, share. Yeah, guys, listen, if you're new to the live show, thanks for swinging by. Please hit the like, subscribe, share, all of that. It really does mean a lot. If you like the content, we kind of joke about this channel. It's everybody's favorite background noise generator. If you're not watching, oh, I didn't even get to the business, the first part of it. So if you're watching this and you're watching this after it's filmed live and you're getting blown up with ads, come back. Well, you probably haven't made it the 35 minutes into this, but come back a couple of days later. It usually takes about 48 to 72 hours for the video to process and go through all of the YouTube things. That's when YouTube automatically, I have no control over this, throws ads on the video. Even if I tell it not to, it still does it. And it will saturate the entire show with it. So I have to go in and manually remove those. So just know that if that is the case, I'm aware of it. And I usually check it. Sometimes it'll go through in 48 hours. Other times it doesn't. Let's see. Oh, Amy Dad said, I miss my grandparents every day too, man. Yeah. World War II vet, all badass. Yeah. In fact, I found my granddad's war diary recently. Pretty cool stuff. Treating me like gold. Yep. Same here. Base is saying the A bodies. Yes. Oh, John's asking 20 plus GT500 ZL1 Camaro or Red Eye Charger Challenger and why? So, John, each one of those cars has a place. Let me start with the GT500. So the problem that I have with the GT500 is I don't have an emotional attachment to that car. One of my all-time favorite cars is the GT500, but not the 2020 Plus. I think that it's awesome in theory, but I know of the people that I know that have owned them have grown to hate those cars, mainly because of issues with the transmission. Okay, so there's that. So I've got to take that one off the list. I just never did get really good vibes from that car. Although it's an amazing car, it's just not part of what I would consider to be it's just not my cup of tea. That transmission kills it for me. Even though it is technically and clinically very good, and I love the way that it looks. If that car had put it to like this, if the 2020 Plus GT500 had a 6-speed manual or 7-speed manual, doesn't matter, or an 8 or a 10-speed automatic, it would be in my garage right now. So that tells you how much I both like it and dislike it at the same time. ZL1 Camaro. I like the ZL1 Camaro a lot. I mean, a whole lot. My only beef with the ZL1 is that it's not a high winding, naturally aspirated Camaro. It's a supercharged Camaro. I would rather in my track attack contraption, which is what I would use a ZL1 for, I just don't want a positive displacement supercharger. It adds a significant amount of weight up front where you don't really want it. And the power delivery with it, there's upside to that car with a Magnuson supercharger. Let's be real. ZL1 with a Maggie is a dirty, dirty girl. Don't get me wrong. And you can make a 9-second car out of one pretty easily, but it's just, it's another car that I love to look at them. I love the thought of driving one, but the ZL1 Camaro to me is just an extension of the older GT500, which was arguably one of my all-time favorite cars. Give me the ZL1 with a 6-speed so I can enjoy the car as a car, and I will never see it at the drag strip or at an open track event. It won't really be there for me. So love the ZL1 for every reason why I love a GT500, which leaves us to the Red Eye Charger and the Challenger. Red Eye narrow body Challenger for the win, only because I know how to tune one, and also only because there's a lot of upside to putting just an E85 tune on one and having fun with it, taking that tune out and, or just doing the conversion with what's his name's E85 sensor deal, not worry about timing and just have a flex fuel car that you can just go out big, comfortable, extremely stable, although numb. God, the Challengers and Chargers are numb by comparison to the GT500 and the ZL1, but big, comfy street car, which is where I'm going to be driving the thing the most. It's where I drive this little guy the most. And that's really where that car shines. So for just playing around ZL1, but I'm going to have to, I don't know. It would be a coin flip between the ZL1 and the Challenger, and I probably would weight that on a best 3 out of 5, only to hope that I get the Challenger. Someone's saying the Dark Horse Dash is powered by the Unreal Graphics engine, which is really cool. That's a gaming engine, right? Just saying, thank you, Knight. Kevin's saying, hey, question, how are you liking the FR66s? Freaking love them. I've been eyeing them for my Hellcat, but the shipping and duty fees are crazy, like almost $800 just to bring them into Canada. Dude, if you can run across the border and throw them in the back of your car and bring them back, that's what I would do. Liking the FR66s a lot. He's talking about the, so these are factory replica flow form FR66 wheels. And they are amazing in terms of how they balanced out. Himmy Dad, thank you very much. A bunch of cheap asses tonight. Where else can you get Mopar content like this? Thanks, man. Man, not everybody's got the money. Justin saying, Himmy Dad is right. Have this in the background all the time and lots of info. It helped me. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I hope I have. Daniel, thank you, brother, to get yourself a finger brace. So it's funny you mentioned that. When this happened tonight, this is the funny thing. It turned purple immediately, and I noticed right on top. And right when I hit, it just went bam, and I thought, that's broken. I know it's either broken or it's chipped or it's a compression fracture, one of the two. And I looked down, and this part was already starting to turn purple. And I thought, okay, I popped it. And then I was like, oh, crap. Let me go ahead and because I was on dumbbell press. So I went and grabbed the first one, started walking over, and I didn't know I was bleeding yet. And went to grab the second one and noticed I just picked the first one up, walked it over, racked it, went to grab the second one like an idiot with the hand that I just jacked up. But I just noticed I was really starting to bleed a lot. And I was like, okay, well, and I felt of it real quickly to make sure it wasn't compound. So I was like, well, nothing's sticking out of there. So it's just basically it's just a pinch cut. And everything that was purple drained out of it. I had a couple of paper towels, soaked everything up and wrapped it up and got back to it. Same as you always do. But thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I ended up not needing a brace. This one didn't need a brace. This one did need a brace. And it was pretty well jacked up. That happened in a football game. It got between two, I don't know how it even happened, but that finger got caught between two helmets. So I was asking blood blister. It was a compression slice, and all of this up top was actually purple. It wasn't down here. It just happened to drain out. So it's still a little bit purple, but it did when it bled out pretty quickly, and then it healed real fast too. So, but thank you guys. I appreciate that very much. Let's see. Let me catch back up with you guys. Oh, they saying, I always thought 340s were slower than high 12s, but apparently not on a tire and not when they're tuned. There are plenty of old school muscle cars running good numbers and preserving the culture. So the 340s, again, all of those cars, you have to remember, so you had, it depended on who was doing the testing, right? So if you had a tester that was really into getting the best number out of that car. They would tune it. It would be carburetor tuning. It would be timing. It would be the whole bit. Prepping the car, could be on a stickier tire. But no, that car, those were absolutely high 12s might be a bit of a stretch, but they were certainly in the mid 13s. It was right there with all of the big block cars. But you got to remember, big block cars were really hard to hook up back then. Chrome Dome saying, would you recommend any intake other than the factory for scat on nitrous? No, if you're talking about intake manifold, no. If you're talking about cold air intake, no. And the reason why is because the nitrous provides the extra oxygen. So it's pretty pointless unless you're trying to change the RPM range. In other words, if you've got a build and you're trying to get 72, 74 or higher RPM out of the thing, 100 RPM out of the thing, again, you have to remember the nitrous supplies the oxygen. Your peak RPM for everything will drop though, with the extra mass that's going through the intake manifold. But no, you'd be fine with the factory intake on that. Lots of guys spray on that intake. See, Daniel's hanging out with Donnie. Let's see. Base saying Hurricane 6 and a Stealth. Would love it. Oh, Daniel's hanging out with Modern Red. Very cool. Oh, glad you hit 9s. Very nice. Base saying, I wish they'd make the Challenger drag pack street legal. It would be tough to make that car street legal only because it falls within a certain year range. But you could take that same power plant and put it into pretty much anything built before 74, I think, in California, and you could kind of have a street legal drag pack. Ken's asking, will your injury stop you from exercising? It didn't stop me tonight. I just wrapped it up in paper towels and kept getting after it. Sovereign's asking why the 340 TA have the pipes coming out of the side instead of the duals and on each side. It was that's how it was set up for SCCA racing. So they just kept that part number working. Jeremy's saying thinner and a cut. Just saying, saw one at the DuPage location by me in Chicago. Drag pack is no joke. No, it is not. They are sick. Oh, Donnie's saying, yep, specs for 154, 60 foot, 670 at 106.49. Yep, that's a good number. 154 is a good is a good 60 foot. So we're saying you should check out Drag Pack Dennis. You also have Behemoth Racing that has one too. Donnie's saying excited to put in this 309 diff and brace. Yep. I love the 309 gear in my car. Love it. And the funny thing is I'm surprised more guys haven't run quicker than me. I mean, there should be, well, but then again, there's a lot of guys that got away from the stock boost 93 octane game. A lot of folks did. It was just too easy to go real fast, and putting the work into trying to get one of these things down the track was just kind of a thing they didn't want to deal with, I guess. And most of our guys, I mean, they would go from, they'd run, in kind of crappy weather, they go like 7.0s, 6.8s, and then immediately it's pulleys, and then fuel. John's asking, we had in the present time convertible Camaros, Mustangs, and Challengers. Yes, you could get convertibles in all of those cars back in the day. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. In fact, Mickey and Mallory Knox had a 70 Challenger convertible. It was red. Daniel's saying, Got to let me know next time you go out for a run. Oh, yeah. And again, Hemi Dad and Justin, thank you all very much, guys. And Daniel. Thank you, buddies. Jeremy's liking the 1415 Z28. I tell you what, I am still so butthurt over that car. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I'm not kidding when I say this. I had one picked out. This is before they released the pricing on the thing. It was going to be a white Z28, obviously black interior. And that was going to be probably the last performance car I would have ever owned. And then they released the price on that thing. It was $74,000 freaking dollars. And I thought that I read that wrong. I mean, I could have seen 54, but 74. And I just was never able to afford one. And man, I really, really, really wanted one. I mean, to me, that was the perfect car. 427 cubic inches, 500 horsepower. Anyway. See, Daniel's. Oh, talking about the run out. Sovereign saw 427 Cobra. Nice. Oh, saying, yeah, UE is a gaming engine. Yeah, it's a really cool setup. And guys, thanks again. I appreciate it. Just saying, Mopar guy since birth, love the 2014 Z28, the engine all the way down to the original Camaro look. Just hate the LS7 problems. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. My dad's best friend went through hell with his 07 Z06. Man, I tell you what. The problem with this is how bad the Z06 got, the LS7 and the Z06. There were guys that would take the LS7 heads off of those things, and they were running ported LS3 heads. And apparently they were doing really well. Something that I had heard of. I wasn't really into them at the time. But yeah, everybody was telling me, dude, if you ever get an LS7, the heads come off the day you get it home and you get new valve seats installed on them, like right now. I don't have a lot of experience with that engine. I know guys that do, and they were saying if you're going to beat on it, if you're going to get it hot, if you're going to supercharge it, if you're going to hit it with nitrous especially, do what you need to do, or just build an LS3 stroker and not have any problems ever. Big's saying, I have a friend who can pay cash for a C170, has been a drag racer for decades and still can't get one. What B was saying is right about availability. Yeah, and that's, there are guys that would really do that car right. And y'all have heard my list of people that I would say would really do the car right. But this is the problem that I have with a 170. It may have shot its wad already because we're coming into June. Okay. It's the tail end of May tomorrow, really. June 1st is on like in just a couple of days. You have all of June, all of July, all of August, and then into September. And that's when we're hoping to see that 170 hit the dealerships and hit the track, presumably. Guys, that is 4 whole ass months after the reveal. Actually, 5 or 6. How many months has it been? This is the problem. We're already forgetting about it. People are already like, huh? But once, oh yeah, the one said it's coming out in like 6 months or something, right? Guys, there's people already forgetting about that car. What are you going to do with it? Ooh, it just ran a 930 or a 920 or a 910. So it's faster than a Demon. Did it run an 8? Well, we hope so. See, here's the issue. the car's got some really big shoes to fill. I'm not saying the car can't run the number, but there's been some problems with Dodge releasing cars that didn't run a number. And when I say cars, I mean all of them with the word demon attached to them. The Hellcat, by the way, has been consistently faster, like considerably, I should have said, considerably faster than what it was labeled at. You got to remember that the Hellcat just by itself was labeled at a, what was it, a 1085? And shit, we're out there running 1060s with these things in stock form. And mine's a 2015, which is got a relatively aggressive tune from the factory, but it different kind of internals with the supercharger, a couple of differences with the 15s. Anyway, they're the lowest power version of the Hellcat variants. Mine's the fastest. So isn't that kind of weird? That's a little bit of gamesmanship with that tune, but you get the idea. But that's beside the point. That's whatever. Okay. Where I'm going with this is you have a car that's coming out. And this is, and I catch so much flack for this, but this is just the reality of the Demon 170. Look, the Demon 170 is going to be fast, and it's fast by all metrics, right? But it's a race car that happens to be emissions legal. The second, the minute, the moment, the instant that journalists, those pesky journos, those cheeky ass journos are going to do everything they can to kick that car's ass. And so you're going to have guys that are going to put that car up against Porsche turbos. They're going to just start picking fast stuff, right? And they're going to do the fastest ever drag race. And it's going to get just hosed because no traction, presumably, maybe. We don't really know the complexity or the sophistication of the traction management protocol in that car just yet. I'm hoping that it's pretty decent. But the reality is that, man, it's only cool until the faster thing comes out. And I guess the big thing that I have, it's not against the car. It's against the manufacturer and the dealers that they're working with. What I have against what they're doing is I don't know that shun is the right word, but they're not putting their demon owners on the forefront to get one of these things at MSRP. The way that I see it, the way that I feel about it is that if you are a demon owner, you should be able to get one of those cars at MSRP and have somebody from Dodge basically stand right behind you to make sure there's no ad attack bullshit involved with it. If you are a Hellcat owner, or if you are, something like that, I don't know what to say on that deal, but I see how they're treating the people that have been flying their flag the highest, and how there's been no reach out to guys that I can see anyway, to put this car in the hands of the right people that will put it in the right environment to be a successful car. And considering the fact that we're still months and months away from this thing being a real car anyway, it's just a release thing. We're kind of, I'm sorry, guys, there's going to be a lot of people that just kind of forget about this thing. And then it's, oh, wow, the new Demon 170 hit the track, and people are going to say, oh, neato, it's super groovy, cool and stuff. But I mean, where's this badass Banshee at? What about the was it Maserati Calzone Gran Turismo, whatever it is, the 800 volt car that's actually kind of the Banshee before the Banshee's the Banshee at 1200 horsepower, all-wheel drive electric. I mean, I know it's an EV. I already know what you're saying before you say it. I can hear the clatter of your keyboards, but guys, it's only the fastest until faster shows up to the party, just like best is only the best until better shows up to the party. So I'm behind it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not naysaying the car. I'm not even sour grapesing it because I can't get one. I'm just seeing it from the same point of view that a lot of other guys are seeing that car. And look, y'all heard me say this before, and it's not me trying to, gild my own car, but this little girl right here, who's damn near run nines in just the worst possible. I cannot believe that car cut an 05 on the worst pass of, like, objectively the worst pass of the night, and it made up for it on the back half while it was overheating, by the way. I don't know if I ever got really into that. I really ought to do a standalone video on the anatomy of this pass that the car made when it went a 10.05, because it spun, it overheated. I didn't say it overheated. It was running very hot because of a jacked up thermostat on the back half of the track. I looked down and the car was at 226 degrees going through the traps. It was sticky, kind of humid. It was cold, but it wasn't like, it was not clean. I mean, it was just, there were so many, like, I made the hit still in the throttle only because in my left lane, I had Orange Crush and I wanted him to run a 16, and he ran a 16. I thought, man, that's great. Anyway, it was the worst technically, like, from beginning to through the end. The car had no business covering the number, and she did on the very, very last pass, which is crazy to me. Pace said, I count myself in the nuts with a jump rope once. That stings. Daniel's saying, well, at least you're good to still do the live chats. Oh, yeah. Pace saying, Summer's saying, talk about being into the rope. Yeah. John said, I knew I was going to be in a car since I was 5 years old because I would lick car tires. Well, everybody's got their thing, I guess. Oh, John's asking, any experience with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, Conti Extremes, or Conti Sports, or Toyo 888s? For a street tire, any preference? I have a little bit of I didn't own the cars, but a little bit of experience with the Continental Extreme Contact Sport. Good ass tire, by the way. Extremely similar. It's an asymmetrical tire. It's extremely similar to the Falcon Azenas FK 510 SUVs that I have on my car. They look extremely similar from a tread pattern point of view, but the Contis, I want to say, are a 320 and the Falcons are a 300. Extremely good tire. Would be really good in the rain. The Toyo R888 is a softer tire and will wear out much more quickly, but it's practically like having a drag radial. Pilot Sports, I have probably more experience with more cars with Pilot Sports than any of the other tires, only because of this is going back a long time though with those. So I don't know that experience would really be relevant to today. So that would be like closed circuit type runs and things like that with the Pilot Sports. Also a good tire, but the Conti Extreme Contact, I would say for the street would be the best of the three, although it would not have the best traction of the three. That'd be the 888. But it depends on what how you're playing around with it. The Conti Extreme will be really good. They're predictable. That's one of the things I really like about the Falcons, is just how predictable those tires are. They break loose in a very linear fashion. Sovereign saying, hit that like button. Justin, I love the smell of them. Don't know if I lick. I'm talking about tires. Let's see. Kim saying, I've been seeing a Catless E85 Charger running 11.2s, drag pack, minor weight reduction. What's the best three things to help that make the horsepower and average horsepower plus torque 392? Well, I mean, we were running 11.2s with just a tune and a cat delete pipe, and we're actually running, believe it or not, 11.2s with the stock cats in the car on pump gas. And that was with a passenger seat removed and a drag pack, and that's it. No other weight reduction. The three things, get with Pike's Performance Tunes. I guess now's a good time to mention. Give Pike's Performance Tunes a shout. Mention B Mason. Get $50 off of tuning. And hey guys, don't forget, we also have Destroyer 1320 on board with us with the neutral safety strap block offs. Mention Mason in that in for his store and get 15% off of your block off plate. Make sure you get one of those for your cars, guys. Let's see. But tune, don't worry about the cat delete. You don't need it. I would not worry about E85 either. That's not really doing you a whole lot of good. Long tubes, a tune, and a drag pack. That's really all you need, man. I mean, I've run 1130s doing that without any weight reduction in an SRT. So that's the heaviest of the group for the NA guys. And yeah, I mean, you don't need a lot for it. Base is saying, check out Ring Lighting channel, Poor Man's Hellcat. I'll check that out. Oh, Sovereign's talking about the TA. Yeah. Saying, check out multiple Mopars. Yes. Sovereign saying 345 is a 5.7. 340, I guess it would be a 5.6. It's 60.1 or 60.5 cubic inches. Sovereign, no, the 340 and the 345 are nowhere near related. It's just 345 is just newer. Base saying the Dark Horse is 70 grand or better depending on your options. My Lord. I still like my Challenger better. Yeah, for that pricing, for sure. Jeremy saying, B, have you seen the prices on the new Z06? Holy markup. Chevy dealer here has one 100K above. Here's the thing. I mean, you saw Gears. Gears just got through doing an engine in one. Apparently, that secondary harmonics thing is catching up with some of these cars, and they're having a problem locking up, at least according to him. I think it said 4 engines so far, not through his dealer, but nationwide. Saying Justin's hanging out with Trey, saying, yeah, he's already full bolts on. Main thing is just making sure the tune's on point. You'll be fine. Justin's liking the Charger. I love the Charger, man. You got to remember, the Charger and my E63 were they're identical cars. They're on the same platform. In fact, if you take the body parts off of one and the other, you can't tell the two apart. Sovereign saying Demonology might get one. He needs to get one. Oh, Base is saying he likes the 8-speed better in the Scat. Yeah, it's really good transmission. Dan saying he's always loved the Dodge cars. They just provide no true business to customer, true relationship. It's tough to find. I tell you what, man, I've had a whole lot of love. I have, but I haven't. I don't know. I did finally get a little bit of resolution out of my dealership on some things that, I mean, they made some things pretty much right with me. So I can't really complain too much, but it's just a bit of a beating to get to that point. Basically, I'm just glad Dodge has an answer for the Plaid and a Hemi. Yeah, there is that. They're putting both on a drag strip, and it's going to be tough to mess with that 170, no doubt about it. Oh, Trey saying I have a 392 intake, 6.4 coil packs, 90 millimeter throttle body, BFD chop cam in my 5.7 300, making 434 on my first run. Dyno third run got 463. Yeah, I mean, that's the fun thing about the 5.7 is you can cover a really pretty horsepower number with those things. Got to remember the way the trucks hit. Oh my God, those things are nasty. So yeah, you can definitely make some power with a 5.7. I mean, the heads flow the same, and cams still do the same cam stuff in 5.7s as they do in 6.4s. In fact, they make a better use of the intake manifold, frankly, than the 392 does. And I've said this a lot, and I get a lot of like, huh, what are you talking about? I've always said the 5.7 is a better combination than the 392, only because it does not tax the airflow requirements of those, like a 6.4 intake. It doesn't tax it the way that a 6.4 does. So you can get away with more with it. Oh, Sovereign say it's like Mario. There's always a one up. Yeah, there's always somebody faster. It doesn't matter what you got. There's always somebody faster. And a lot of times they'll be faster than you with less. And you're like, what the hell? Happens to happen a lot. And I've been that guy on both sides of the fence, folks. I've been the faster guy, and I've been the guy going, what the hell? So there ain't no free lunch in this deal. Trust me. If you're in it long enough, you will be on both sides of that fence. Jeremy's saying Dodge showed no love to the 5.7 Charger or Challenger. You know what's funny? They almost tried at one point. They almost got it right at one point with the Scat Pack, the Scat stages, and it just never caught on because it was so damn expensive. So what I would have liked, frankly, Jeremy, is that I would have liked for them to do the things they should have done with the 5.7 to begin with. The 5.7 should have had the 6.4 intake manifold, and it should have had the 6.4 exhaust manifolds. That's all I would ask for. Make it an active intake and take the log manifold off the thing, and it's already, you can already get the same cat or manifold back exhaust that's in a Scat Pack. That's great, but give us the manifolds too, and yeah, you would go from basically 370 rated horsepower, which is kind of bullshit. The 5.7s always, the cars anyway, always dyno higher than they should based on their horsepower rating anyway. But it would have gone from what is realistically a 385-ish horsepower engine. If you do the manifold and the headers and you tune it the right way, that's the other thing. It's got to be tuned to take advantage of that stuff. I mean, it would be a 410, 415 horsepower engine, which would be fine. There's nothing wrong with that with a bunch of torque. Be a fun ass engine. It really would. And that's really where it needed to be. Justin saying, go boost. Ken saying, I think I would rather have the Copo Camaro. Yeah, I mean, instead of the Demon 170. The thing is that it's hard to say one or the other when it comes to Copo or Demon 170, but I will tell you this. If you are going to campaign the car, like let's say you're actually going to actively take this thing to the drag strip and you're not really going to drive it on the street for whatever reason, the Copo is a way smarter investment because it's Chevy and they're stupid easy to work on. Parts are crazy cheap for that thing. You're never going to blow it up. And if you just want to get out there and run like 820s and just have a ball doing it, that's the Copo Camaro. That's what you get for your money. And let's say if you're not really trying to cover a number, but you're just going to be out there running 850s, that's where the Copo does its best work. And where the 170 is a street legal car and Copo isn't, it all depends on what you're going to be doing with the car. And this is the other thing. If you've got your hands on a 170 if you've got your hands on a 170, would you even drive it on the street? What happens if that thing gets hit? Like, think about that for a minute. Let's say you're just cruising down the road, la la la, and you're 170, and you're like, I feel like a superstar. Boom! Freaking somebody in a pickup truck blows a stop sign and T-bones the back half of that car and totals it. Now you're totally fine, completely uninjured, but your 170 is wadded up. What does insurance pay for the other? Like, how do you insure something like that, especially if you paid the added tag of $100,000? That's the part that scares me about that car. People might buy them as an investment, but if you don't drive the thing and you don't insure it the right way, what happens if bad things happen? And look, people, I understand people drive these things. They drive real expensive cars all the time, but how do you justify that crazy expense? That's kind of where I'm at with it. But anyway, let's see. Base is saying it's much cheaper to build a Nova. Dude, there's a god dang perfect Nova for sale too. They want a lot of money for it, but if I had the room, I would buy it, and it's real nice. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Lost my spot here, guys. Oh, just saying, yeah, from the start, there wasn't much love for the 5.7. Yeah, the 5.7 was just basically the corporate V8. What I always felt that was weird, though, is that they never had the variable runner intake for the cars. That always kind of threw me off a little bit. Not that there's anything wrong with the factory intake. There's not. A matter of fact, that factory 5.7 fixed runner intake flows the same as a 6.1 intake. So there's that, but technology moves around and changes. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Oh, basically saying GTRs and Supers are fast, but they are throwaway cars. The Japanese stuff has always had that stigma about it. And they aren't America. Hang on. Sorry. Get kind of scrolling through here, guys. I'm about to have to wrap it up here pretty quick. So let me get another few of you guys, and then if I miss you, I do apologize. Let me just kind of pick some of these here really quickly. Speed Freak, good question. If you didn't have your Hellcat, what would you be looking to buy with things priced the way that they are now? A Nova or an Elko. Oh, Justin. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is with the 5.7, they just never gave it the part. In my opinion, the truck and the car didn't need that log at all. I mean, I'll pay an extra $300 or $400 for the car. Just give me the right parts for it. You know what I mean? Dan, I'd buy a bicycle, friggin' C-Note at the pump. No kidding, man. Hemi Dad's out. Mopar, no car. Justin saying, love that saying. My granddad would always say the same. No such thing as a free lunch. Never understood until I got older, which is real talk, man. Base is out. Thanks for hanging out, brother. Always good to see you, my friend. Albert, didn't even see you come in. Thank you very much for the Gatorade fund. Thanks for the great content, B. Thank you so much, Albert. I appreciate that. Very kind of you, my friend. And with that, guys, I do have to wrap it up. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for hanging out with me. Would not do this without you. Love each and every one of y'all. Guys, get out there and do something cool for somebody. Chances are they need it way more than you know. And guys, with that, we will catch you guys on the next one. If I say guys one more time, that is at least a full shot. And guys, with that, that's a wrap. Adios. Bye, guys.